President Obama, any president has special powers. They create an annual budget. So this means each year they decide how to spend America's $3.7 trillion. So every year, $3.7 trillion is how much they spend. Next, he pardons criminals. So this means if your friend gets arrested, they get found guilty, they get sentenced to jail, President Obama can set them free. Your friend can leave jail because the president has the power to pardon anybody, so they can get out of jail free. And that's a power that the president has. Next, amnesty. Not only can the president set one person out of jail, but he can get a whole group out of jail. So this happened like with President Carter. He gave amnesty to everybody that dodged the draft in the Vietnam War. And appointing judges. This means choosing judges. That President Obama can pick anybody he wants. So he appointed Sonia Sotomayor to the Supreme Court. This is going to be a very terrible drawing of her, but Obama said, "I want you to be on the Supreme Court," and she said, "Yay, because I'm on the Supreme Court and I got this position for life." For life, okay? And treaties. The president gets to negotiate, gets to sign treaties. So it says, end global warming, or or do something about the ozone layer. The president is the one that signs these treaties, that tries to get them negotiated. That is his responsibility, but the Senate must approve. But anyway, that is his other powers. Next up, we've got the cabinet executive departments, the regulatory agencies. So we got a whole bunch of things here. We got the cabinet. It's a collection of all 15 executive agencies. They all sit around a table, all 15 of them, and they discuss all the different issues from education to the environment. They help the president enforce the laws. They're led by a secretary, except the Justice Department, that's the Attorney General. And again, the president, he gets to choose all these people sitting around this table. That's his choice, whoever's at the table. They give advice and expertise to the president, and they interpret how to enforce new laws. Okay, and finally, there's regulatory agencies, and they're the ones that make sure that the meat you eat is good to eat and will not make you sick. So they have a huge role to play. Finally, influence on lawmaking. The president does not make the law. But he enforces the law. It's the big stick that he carries, to enforce the law and make sure everyone's going along with it. He gives the State of the Union each year, where he proposes legislation. Those are ideas for laws. For example, wanting every kid to go to college and making the money available for that to happen. Make appeals to the public to go on TV and say, please support this health care bill. Please support the Iraq War, like President Bush did. The president can do that with any issue that they choose. They can make an appeal to Congress. They can ask the Congress to introduce a bill and to have them vote a certain way. And finally, the president can veto any bill that he doesn't like. And if he gives the veto, that bill is almost always dead, because the Congress needs a full 2/3 to override. And that is a very, very, very high and hard number for anyone in the Congress to get to. Finally, the president, it's not just about the president. He is the executive for the United States, but we also have an executive for this. And this is supposed to be Virginia. In Virginia, we've got a constitution that limits the powers of the governor. They can only serve 4 years. They can only really be elected once. They can't run for re-election until another person is served. They have a lieutenant governor who advises, and there's different powers and roles the governor has. Just like the president, he's a chief executive and an administrator. They make sure the laws are followed. So enforcing the Virginia law, approving cabinet members and boards, all these things is something the governor does. Commander-in-chief, he makes sure that if there's an emergency, like getting 2 feet of snow, that the National Guard is there to help out. As chief of state, he's the symbol of Virginia to the world, sometimes going over to Japan to see if we can get more business contracts for Virginia. Chief legislator, he will suggest bills for the General Assembly, and that's from trying to balance the budget to getting more money for schools, to doing something about transportation. And finally, he sets the direction for the local political party, for the state political party, making sure that they have their goals. And the special powers of the governor, he gets to prepare the budget every 2 years. He pardons, he can set criminals free. And he also he chooses the heads of state agencies, regulatory boards, and these help administer the law. They enforce the law, and they regulate aspects of business and the economy. So they're the ones that make sure that if you go out to eat tonight and you get sick at a restaurant, it's the governor and the Virginia Department of Health. They'll make sure that gets closed down. And they provide services. They do help the homeless. They help children who are in need. And they got to, again, make sure the roads are clear, the trains run on time. And we'll stop there.